September 26th is a big deal for the hardcore and even maybe the average Last of Us fan because, of course, that is the day that in the Last of Us lore, the actual cordyceps virus actually went worldwide and the official pandemic in that world started, right? We have some changes, although, to the upcoming day, which is coming up here on Saturday, September 26th. We are 3 days away. I want to talk about the changes that Naughty Dog has made to the actual day's name, as well as some different things that we could potentially get for the newly named The Last of Us Day. What is going on, guys? It is your boy Tickety123 here, back here in PlayStation Source, and we're going to talk a little bit about some Last of Us stuff. So, of course, coming off of not only The Last of Us Part 2 and this crazy 2020 year where, if you guys obviously are unaware, there's a massive, you know what? I know that, actually, I've been hearing that I can't even say what it is on YouTube videos because I guess it gets suppressed or whatever, but y'all know what's going on outside, okay? It's crazy, right? But they posted here on Twitter an update to the naming, which used to be Outbreak Day. It is now being changed to The Last of Us Day. So I'll read this right here real quick. Link below in the description if you want to follow along. I'll put it on screen here as well. For the last 7 years, September 26th has been our opportunity to recognize and celebrate the incredible passion of the Last of Us community. However, as we thought about the events of last year and the challenges we will all continue to face with COVID-19, we didn't feel right continuing on under the Outbreak Day banner. While the name and date are rooted in the fiction of the game, September 26th means so much more than lore. It's about showing our appreciation for our fans. That's why this Saturday and moving forward, September 26th will now be known as The Last of Us Day, a name that will not only acknowledge the world around us, but also reflects the growth of the community as we welcome millions of new players with the release of The Last of Us Part 2. We have a lot of exciting things planned and we can't wait to share them with you in just a few days. Naughty Dog. So this is pretty much what a lot of people, you know what, actually I didn't really even think about Outbreak Day, to be honest. Like, I know that the obvious contender is of course Rainbow Six Quarantine. What is that doing, what is that going to be renamed to? Because I really doubt they actually keep that name for that game, but this definitely makes sense. If you're mad about it, I don't know why. It's a simple name change. The Last of Us Day makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's celebrate the fandom. We have other days like Mario Day. There is, I think, Mass Effect Day, which, is it November 7th? Is it N7? I think that's what it is, but I digress. Last of Us Day is Last of Us Day. It's cool. Let's get into what could we possibly see at this day, at this day, on this day. So I have a few different predictions here that I kind of want to lay out to you guys. A lot of people have been talking about it, and I'm sure that, a lot of you pretty much know what I want out of Last of Us Day. And the first one being, of course, factions to reveal, right? So of course we got that update about Faction 2 back when the last, I believe, Outbreak Day occurred. It was around like October, I think, when they did actually no, it was I think it was at a State of Play. There was a trailer alongside with it that released the release day for the game, but then shortly after it got delayed and different stuff like that. But during that whole thing, it was revealed that multiplayer was taken away from Part 2 because they end up expanding the whole mode and they want to make it this whole big thing, and it's going to be released after Last of Us Part 2 in a standalone fashion, right? So that's all we heard of from this game. We haven't heard from it since, and I think that now is the time to really show us Factions 2. I really want it, guys. There is, of course, Google is your friend for this. I won't obviously show this on screen because, I don't want my channel getting taken down, but there are leaked videos and leaked snippets about Faction 2, actually showing Faction 2 in action. If you guys want to find out on the internet, go ahead. It is there. I'm not going to show it, but I digress. It definitely exists, and I would love to see a reveal for it. If not a reveal, you know what I'm saying, because it is a Saturday. Christian has been telling me that, that seems a little bit wild to have a full-on reveal on a Saturday. I'm sure there are examples of it happening, but in case that's a little bit too far-fetched, maybe at least a little teaser, and then give us the day that they will officially reveal Faction 2 in full feature set and all that good stuff at a later date. So maybe that could be a case, but I definitely highly think that a lot of people are looking towards Last of Us Day for Faction 2, and I am one of those people. Next up here, one that I think could actually really be a thing that actually happens for Last of Us Day is The Last of Us Part 2 on PS5. Already Last of Us Part 2 by itself on PS4, on the PS4 Pro, is incredibly good looking. From its graphic fidelity, its animations, like everything is top notch on Last of Us Part 2. Really set a bar very, very high in terms of gaming, right? But I would love to see how it actually performs on PS5. Are there different advancements, or are there going to be more, frame rate, ray tracing features? Like, we already know that the Last of Us as a game is definitely very much scalable, and being able to fine tune from the different accessibility modes that are in the game and different stuff like that. But how is it going to be enhanced and further pushed on the PS5, on next generation, and different aspects like that? Or are we going to get a Last of Us Part 2 remastered? Like, is that what they do when they charge us again? Could very well be the case. We just got the news as of this recording that it's official that, upon release of Miles Morales, they will not be releasing a Spider-Man remastered separately. It will just be an upgrade and different stuff like that that will still be available via the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition. Is there something like that? Who knows what we're gonna go down this road? And I would like to believe that Last of Us Part 2, while the PS4 version is going to be playable on PS5, I do hope that they give us the free update to those enhancements to make it take advantage of PS5 hardware. I would love that personally, but who knows? That's a whole thing that is for another video, you know what I'm saying? But I would like to see a little bit of Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 on Last of Us Day as well. Now, the third one here is pretty obvious, right? We could just have the usual merch and posters and themes and different stuff like that. Like, that's all great and dandy. That's all fine. I have no problem with that. Over the past few years, we've had really cool artwork come out from Outbreak Day. A lot of cool posters, a lot of cool pins and different stuff like that. So we could definitely see that, and that is definitely something that is par for the course. I wouldn't be disappointed in that. That's just, it is what it is, but it's definitely not the most exciting thing that they could bring. But what is exciting that they could bring is something that I am definitely going to go into more detail in a probably separate video about how they've essentially laid out for this to potentially happen. But Tommy DLC for The Last of Us Part 2. I'm thinking like The Last of Us Left Behind type style. I'm thinking standalone. I'm thinking it tells the story of Tommy leaving from the camp, right, and going into Washington to have redemption upon his brother Joel. I think that could be a very, very cool perspective. And when you think of how they have laid out The Last of Us as a game, we got to see Ellie and her adventures through that time. We got to see Abby and her adventures through that time. And Tommy was having his own adventure that was completely off screen. Like, I think that could be a very, very good way to go back into the world of Last of Us and really see Tommy's side. And, Tommy eventually meets up with Jesse, so we'll be able to see that aspect of it. Like, I think it could be really, really cool to see a whole different area within Washington and how it all connects to the overall narrative. And we also get to see, of course, Tommy and Maria arguing as well, and then Tommy wanting Ellie to go with him to go find Abby again back in California. It could be really, really cool. I think it's great. I think that's a really cool idea. Who knows if that's actually going to happen? But there's one more thing that we are going to talk about here that is honestly pretty much almost confirmed. Of course, the big other thing that we are talking about here, besides The Last of Us Part 2 on PS5 and all that good stuff, is the HBO show The Last of Us, which was announced last year. It is happening, or was it this year? I don't even know. It was announced, it's happening, it's a big deal, you know what I'm saying? And we still don't have a lot of really news around it. Like, we know that Neil Druckmann is involved, we know that Naughty Dog is involved, we know that, it is going to tell different parts of the original Last of Us story and add some different things as well that weren't included in the game and different aspects like that. But what we don't know a lot of is, of course, the casting of the HBO series, which of course a lot of people are definitely gonna be looking for. And if we have a Reddit AMA that recently happened to have it be a little bit more of credence to this whole thing, it could be happening on Saturday. So we have an HBO actor who was on Game of Thrones. I'm going to mess up his name, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to mess it up. I'm gonna try my best, okay? His name was Nikolai Coster-Waldau. Nikolai Coster-Waldau. I'm gonna hope that's right. His picture's somewhere here on the screen. He's from Game of Thrones. I have never seen Game of Thrones, so I can't speak to how he is from an acting prowess, but he looks a lot like Joel. right? That's all I'm gonna say. I think this gentleman right here has the Joel aesthetic. He could definitely play a Joel, and you know, that's just going off of just a visual standpoint. I don't know how he is as an actor. A lot of people have told me that he's a very good actor in Game of Thrones. I don't know firsthand, but if he's on Game of Thrones, he has to be a, you know, level of acting prowess that I assume is to a high degree, right? But he was doing a Reddit on, he's not doing a Reddit, he was doing an AMA, there we go. He was doing an AMA on Reddit, and someone asked him, quote, "Are you going to play Joel Miller in The Last of Us show?" I remember lots of people thinking you'd be the perfect casting choice for him, right? Someone asked him that, and he just simply responded, "I just got part 2, what a great game." So he's playing through The Last of Us Part 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, which implies that he's played The Last of Us, right? And you couple that with he looks a lot like Joel, right? He is already familiar with working with HBO, with being on Game of Thrones. I think we are looking at our Joel here. So on Last of Us Day on Saturday, we could see a casting announcement with him being Joel in The Last of Us. I think that would be insane. That'd be nice to hear as well. Of course, I would love Factions 2 more. I would love to see Last of Us Part 2 on PS5 more, but this, I would take this casting announcement as well as a little side thing as well. I love this prospect. I think just visually speaking, he definitely looks like Joel, and if he has the acting chops to do it, I think he would make a great Joel, not only physically, but hopefully his acting is up to par with that as well. I just can't speak to it myself, but those have been what I think is happening, guys, on The Last of Us Day. Most importantly, let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think about this whole thing. What are your thoughts? What do you want to see on Last of Us Day? What do you hope to be there? What do you not hope to be there? Do you want to see Factions 2? Do you want to see Last of Us Part 2 on PS5? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and make sure also while you are down there to check out our description where you can find links to our Twitter, our Discord, as well as an anchor link. That way you can listen to our long form content in podcast format. That, of course, being Road to Part 2. Just kidding, that's not a thing anymore. Road to PS5, as well as a new Road to series coming very, very shortly. Road to PS5 is a PS5 podcast dedicated to any and all things PS5 that posts Sundays at 10 a.m. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as hit subscribe to PlayStation Store to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a stream, and make sure to hit that join button if you deem so worthy to become a member of the channel. You can be a Prince tier for $1 or a King tier for $5 and get access to exclusive channel badges, emotes, and be one of the homies, just like Caleb Kaiser, Bashful Brody, and the homie Owen, and the homie Arachne. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.